Channel TV. Today we're bringing you a new episode of the Golden Door Awards, which are the first international writers' awards based on the topic of truth and integrity and given to writers of digital content and non-fiction literature, printed literature. And today with me is a very special guest. Please, everybody, help me welcome Rami Adham. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, so we would love for the audience to get to know you a bit better. I've already had a chance to look at all your inspiring story and all the work you have been doing, but I would really like you to share with the audience who you are and what do you do.
Well, I'm just a regular Syrian origin living in Finland for the past 32 years, father of six, a businessman who was hoping to one day move back to Syria and live his retirement days with the family and enjoy both cultures, both Finland and also my root origin, Syria. But unfortunately, due to the 2011 uprising that due to the spread of the Arab Spring, also Syria took a big hit. Apparently, the regime that ruled the country for over 50 years as a family dynasty did not want to go of the power and did not want to implement the reforms the people wanted. So they, in short sense, they start slaughtering people. And me watching this ongoing slaughter on live TV, it just devastated me, completely paralyzed me, completely made me unable to continue with my day life. And knowing the things that I have brought up in Syria and seeing my own people, be massacred, and then later turned into one of the biggest refugee crisis since the Second World War, and me seeing all that couldn't just continue on with my life. I had to do something, and I wanted to do something. So I've, gathered my savings at that time in 2012 after watching this whole Holocaust taking place for over a year without no international intervention to stop this massacre. And despite all the pledges from my people inside, please help us, help us. Can somebody stop this massacre? Can somebody do something with Assad regime? Nobody did anything, and that massacre continued to grow and grow. And in 2012, when we were seeing thousands only of refugees, I decided to go there myself and see what exactly I can do as a one man. I couldn't just stay put and just keep on my daily life. So when I did actually go there in 2012, I mean, my life just, it's like I was hit by a train. I was struck by what I saw in front of my eyes. I was completely paralyzed, crying for days, and the thousands of families that have sheltered under olive trees in open fields, fleeing bombs and fleeing massacres. I mean, the money that I had with me, it made thousands of people's, life different and easy by, providing water, drilling wells, donating or buying food baskets, whatever I could get my hands on at that time. And on that first trip, I mean, my kids donated their toys as a message of love to the children inside Syria. My 3.5 years old daughter Yasmin, she donated her toys, and that little, you know, beautiful gesture from a 3.5 years old turns into almost 55,000 toys that has been delivered so far to Syria over my 37 humanitarian trips I have implemented since 2012 up to this day. So I can't just stop not going. I have to always be there myself to see exactly the faces of the people who benefit from our work. And I just can't just stay here, not see those kids. I mean, I've had this beautiful bond between them. They expect me every 2 months. They call me until toys is here. So It's beautiful, when the word spreads so fast and kids just coming from every directions and they just want to have a toy, which is something nobody's actually, bothering of thinking how important this is. The child does not really care about how much money you bring with you, or how big food basket you got, or whatever. He wants to have that thing that makes him a child. And I realized that since my first trip, and I thought, my God, all these money I had with me made no difference. I it made no. It was something routine. It was something not so much joy. It was something necessary to do. But those 100 toys that I had from my kids, it turns into a festival of joy in there, and we were playing for days after that. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, that day I learned that it takes absolutely nothing to make a whole bunch of kids happy. And in some sense, I have learned that it has played a big part in restoring these kids childhood that they have lost. And it made them also restore some faith in humanity, that someone do really care about us. And so I can't just stop doing it. So I've been doing it every time I go there. I got thousands of toys with me, and I buy if I need some there. It's not actually the food that we've delivered over tens of thousands of kilos every year. Real food, water, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we've built 3 schools, which I find very important, to provide somehow some education for those kids who cannot really go to school, where there's 2.4 million Syrian children right now are unable to go to school. So this is in a short. I mean, I'm sorry to take so much time, but I could talk forever. I mean, I've done 37 trips to Syria, and every trip has a special one for me, special meaning for me. I got tons of video materials of that, and every time I come out from Syria, I sit and watch these materials and rewind all these moments that I've lived inside Syria, with the hecticness of the moment. Thousands, hundreds of kids around you, and each one trying to put kids in order and try to create an atmosphere so they don't kill each other, and eventually kill me if they don't get a toy. So it's something that I cannot imagine myself not doing, even if there's peace comes to Syria in some point, which I don't see that point anywhere close. But if that happens and in Syria comes peace, I will move to another conflict, and I will move to another country, and I will deliver toys to these countries as well. I don't know where it is, Yemen, you know, to Africa, Somalia. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever there are kids under pain and being deprived from their childhood, I'm going to be there to make them remember, or restore that childhood into their life day to day.
That is such an inspiring story. I know when I learned about the work you do, it really struck me, because we tend to think, oh, people in those situations, terrible, terrible situations, they need money, they need health care, they need food. But what about those children? They are not having a normal, not even close to normal childhood. And play is so
Exactly.
important. Game,
Exactly.
play, creativity. From a psychological point of view, children need to play. Even adults need to play.
Absolutely.
But I mean,
It's their job.
exactly, it's part of their development. And
Exactly.
you being able to make that possible for them, that's going to help them forever. Not just
Hmm.
because of all the happy moments and memories you're
Yes.
providing to them, but also from a psychological point of view, you're going to help them develop so many
Absolutely.
skills. It's absolutely, truly, truly inspiring and truly phenomenal. So from
Absolutely.
here, I mean, I absolutely love your mission.
Thank you.
Absolutely admire it. So congrats on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And now, when it comes to the Golden Door Awards and the written work you've submitted, I'm sure it has a lot to do with your mission. So, can you
Okay.
tell us a bit about that work you've submitted and about the inspirations behind it?
Well, there are tons of things I could write about, but I was limited to about 2,000 words. So I'm not a writer myself, but I had to muster some skills into this, and it took me really some time to put some to make something short but meaningful. So I've written pretty much a story on exactly I started this whole thing, and then how it's going right now, and then in the middle I focused on a story that inspired me, or actually it keeps on tearing my heart.
Mhm.
So I decided to write about a girl who I met inside Syria, and her story, and how joyful it is to see her every time I go there. And her story basically tells me, it's a story out of millions of stories inside, if not hundreds of thousands of kids who lived that horror she lived. So I wanted to write that story in particular, and bring it out so people can really somehow, you know, wake up and say, does that really happens today in our time in 2020 inside a country that is called Syria? And nobody is, it's not like a month or two or three. This is the 10th year where a million almost died and 13 million refugees. And we're talking about massive numbers of people suffering, and especially children and women. So I have to raise awareness. I mean, I had to tell the world one way or another, wake up, do something, get involved, pressure on your government, march the streets, demonstrate, share on Facebook, whatever, do something to end this massacre. This is actually what I appreciate about the Door opportunity given to me to actually come out there and share these one of these stories I had with the people there, hoping it could spark an awareness, and hopefully someday, one day, somebody would get involved and might end up ending the conflict. Hopefully.
Exactly, yes. It's something that definitely needs more eyes on it, because for some reason
Absolutely.
that beats me. It seems as if you don't speak about a problem, the problem disappears. And
Hmm.
in that case, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And there's a whole generation, at least, that's going to have that reality as their life. And that's
True. True.
so unfair. It's just
True.
terrible. And then the rest of the world just looking somewhere
Yeah,
else.
now the whole world is just talking about how cheap is the oil prices. They
Yes.
don't really care. Oh, it's gone to minus. This is their biggest problem. I mean, Corona, the virus, the epidemic. But what about this epidemic spreading in refugee camps?
Hmm.
We in the civilized world, developed countries, we yet cannot fight this disease, and we got all these resources available to us. If I can call an ambulance now, it will be here in minute 40 seconds. But and still they can't fight it. But what happened if that disease is really spreading? Who would tell us? Inside Syria, all hospitals are being bombed. There's rarely doctors operating on the ground there. Where are right now in an area where 6.5 million people who are being displaced inside Syria. I'm not talking about refugees outside Syria,
Hmm.
but this is a ticking bomb that who knows what happened if the COVID-19 spreads inside Syria. So, but nobody talks about this.
Nobody.
Nobody even want to mention. I mean, I've lived that over the years. That every time something happens somewhere, some minor thing, which to me it's something minor, like whatever. I'm not gonna say specific thing, but I mean, immediately people turns to forget about the Holocaust that's taking place in Syria. If some 20 people died somewhere, the whole media start talking about the whole that thing incident for days or weeks. But what about the hundreds dying every day inside Syria? I
Exactly.
spoke to one journalist, and I told him, why aren't you guys reporting? I mean, back in the day, you guys have been calling me every time I go there. Now you guys are not interested anymore. He said, Rami, this becomes an old news to us. And unless Assad, use a nuclear bomb, then we will start reporting again.
Yeah, it's very sad, but somehow the news has become so corrupted in a way.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So that's why here the Golden Door Awards, I think it's a great initiative, and that's why we decided to partner up with them, because we share that mission. We are in the pursuit of the truth,
Right. Right.
and you cannot just choose what news to bring up or not, depending on a hidden agenda and who knows what.
Of course.
I mean, the truth is the truth.
Absolutely. I mean,
Humanity is humanity everywhere, and every life
absolutely. Totally
is
hear
worth the
you.
same. So, I mean,
Totally
it's
hear you. I've lived this corruption in the media myself, unfortunately. I wasn't known before. I mean, globally, I wasn't known before 2016. Even I was traveling since 2012 up to 2016, like around 30 times. But once I became known, I became a subject in Finland here. I became a subject of how come he can go? How come he can help and the whole world cannot help? Why?
mm,
What is the secret behind this? His story is too good to be true. There's something fishy about him. Something, maybe something, let's dig. And they started linking me with terrorism and all that, which is nonsense. Just to make a sexy story to publish about the toy smuggler. And imagine how much that hurt me as a man who is trying to, I mean, I'm funded very low, but with this little money I've been doing massive works because I travel myself on the ground. I risk my life, not once, not twice, not 10, 20, 37 times. I mean, who would do that for what money? But yet they don't really understand. They said something is wrong with this side. We don't understand. He must be linked to terrorists, to supporting them. Who allows him to enter Syria, or who safeguard him to get out safe and go back again and safe and go back? This is all nonsense. So
exactly.
I have boycotted the media since then. So
Mm,
I thought I should have not really opened myself to the media at all. I should have just done my work quietly and do that little thing I do, you know, from my heart to their hearts. But at the same time, I wanted the world to know what's going on there. I was the only voice who was able to speak in Arabic and Finnish and Russian and English, and also, it's important from besieged Aleppo. Who would speak there, tell the world what's going on? So it is what it is. You got to pay the price sometimes. But they try to cut my work or end my work. But I've traveled 7 times since then, so they cannot really
good
block
for
me.
you.
My country we're talking about. These are real people who are dying in there,
Yeah.
and nobody lived a day under bombardments to know how important to save a life or put a smile on someone's face.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, probably, this is just a personal opinion, but probably those people just don't have a life purpose, so they wouldn't
Yeah,
even get
absolutely.
close to understanding.
Too far away from me. Why would I care?
Exactly. Exactly.
Mentality. Yes.
Exactly. Well, if it serves of anything, we are just very small, but you have all our support, and whatever
Thank you
you
so
need,
much.
you
Thank you.
can
And
use
all
the
the support is
voice.
highly appreciated.
No,
Thank you.
absolutely. I mean,
Thank you so much.
absolutely. So, going back to the awards, and I am interested in this because I think it is going to probably help you shine a light on this issue and on your mission. What would it mean to you if you were to win one of the awards?
Oh, that would mean to me. I mean, I always speak on the not for myself. I'm an expired dude. I'm almost 50, so I've lived my life. My kids are fine. We're not under threat. I mean, nobody's bombarding us. My kids goes to best schools in Finland and it's for free. So I'm blessed in that sense. But I see myself as a spokesman for the thousands of those children who I have met, privileged to meet inside Syria, and who does not have a voice. So I want to echo their voice to the world as for as many as possible. I want to tell them what exactly they are wanting the world to do, and what exactly they are going through right now, and what have been going through for the past 10 years. Uh, it would mean, of course, the world to me if I could sit down with someone who is influential, who can do something about it, and that story becomes in a way heard by people. And I'm not looking for any financial awards, never. And if I get anything, I have signed a contract with a movie producer, and I have signed that contract for the benefit of my NGO, nothing for me. So I know how much, I mean, the value of money inside Syria. It could turns people's lives, I mean, upside down. And I mean, sometimes my kids ask me, "Hey, Dad, you have 10 euro you can spare?" I was like, "What do you need that for?" And he explains, and I started to calculate like this. And I said, "You know what can you do with 10 euro inside Syria?" And he goes like, "What? What?" I was like, "You can feed 10 people the whole day." So I've become calculative too much about what something, if I want to buy something, I would find something cheaper. I would buy the cheaper because I know the difference would feed someone or would help someone. So, I've become less materialist in life. Before, back in the days when I was running my company and doing well, I changed TV every 6 months. So now I know the value of finance, and if that would happen, of course, that will be extremely beneficial for Syria and for Syrians.
Right.
So I want to thank the Golden Door Award, of course, upfront for that chance, in the first place, for me to participate and tell that story, even in short. Maybe, hopefully, one day I'll write a bigger book. Who knows?
Exactly. Who knows? This is probably the first step towards that.
Yes, yes. Hopefully that sparks some writer, well-known writer, interest, in the future, who would be interested in writing that book, because I mean, I know I've lived the details, but I cannot write. You know.
Right. Well, maybe someone's listening.
Hopefully, anybody welcome.
You never know.
Yes,
Yeah, well, from here and on behalf of everyone on the Expert Channel TV, we really wish you the best for the
thank you,
awards. And even
thank you,
if and I know I am saying this to every participant I'm meeting, because I'm just meeting the most outstanding people doing incredible work in the world. And to me, anyone who's made it to the top 20 shortlist is a winner. I mean, you're
thank you,
all absolutely outstanding. And if
thank
this
you,
serves to give you a voice and to shine a light on the work you do and help you, I think it's worth it. We are definitely going to do everything in our power to help every
thank you,
single one of your missions.
thank you, thank you so
So
much.
you,
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And all those who's working with you at Expert Channel TV, I tell them my hello and my extreme appreciation for their hard effort. Thank you so much.
I will, of course, on your behalf. And I really appreciate you sharing your time and your inspiring
Sure,
story with
absolutely, absolutely.
us.
Nothing I can do better than doing this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And to all our viewers, I know you are looking forward to learning who is going to be the winner for this. There's still a few months to learn about that. So in the meantime, why don't you go back? You watch all the episodes, all these inspiring stories, connect to these people and see if you can help them out. There's always things we can do. We tend to think that we need to be big leaders, influential people to change the world, and actually doing something very small can lead to change also. So why not become your own leader and do something for change? I know all of these missions are worth that extra effort. So please stay in touch, connect, share your insights as you always do, and I will see you all very, very soon.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
That's it.